Play.
Cameras on Max. Cameras on Anya and Max. Cameras on Fran. Cameras on Matt and Fran. Who are you guys playing in this production?
I'm David Carmichael of Sound, Body and Mind, and I chose to be
And
here.
I'm Imogen Penn, and I'm of Sound, Body and Mind.
And who are they?
Imogen really wants to be pregnant because she's sad that she had her baby taken away from her when she was younger. So that's her sort of struggle throughout the thing, is that obviously because there's lots of sex in this cult, but she never gets what she wants out of it because she wants to be pregnant.
Through conversations with Scott, we decided David is like an opportunist. So kind of like he's not really here out of like respect for like Darius or anyone. He's here because he saw something cool and was like, yeah, I want that. I want what they're having. We decided he's kind of like a failed musician of some sort, which is why kind of like I do a lot with like playing the acoustic guitar and the electric every now and then. But for the most part, like I said, like he's just an opportunist. He's here because like he saw something cool and was like, yeah.
All right, so this is the space. I like it. Have any of you performed in here before?
Yeah.
Joy! Come on. We'll show ya.
Is it possible to clear this area so that we can...
What are you reading? A book. Dorian Gray. Oh, God, just gonna say, you can't sing. Okay. Can't say Dorian Gray. Top secret. Oh, sorry.
So Diggs is like the youngest cult member. He's also like one of the Sky High Command. He's pretty much the comedic figure in everything. He's very much everyone pretty much makes fun of him. It's not very nice, you know. Schoolboy is he's sort of told the story by Maureen and Pauline along with the schoolgirl. That's a really fun role to play.
Are you enjoying doing tech rehearsals?
Oh,
today?
absolutely. I just don't want it to end.
Oh, Max.
I'm really
He's
enjoying
so
it.
Cute. Stop. Hi, Scott. Where are we? What's going on?
So we are in production week. This is the set, and the cast have gone onto the set for the first time today. We have started building lighting design and really putting everything together for the first time. So this is a really weird week always. It's tense but also very exciting. And we're just coming to the end of our lunch break, and then straight after we're going to start shooting Act 1.
Are they shooting with masks?
No, we're working without masks. So every student and us, the creatives, have agreed to test every morning so that we can take our masks off, so that they can do normal voice work and that kind of thing. It's really important. I don't think the production would work without that. So yeah, today is masks off day, which feels strange. Like I took it off to talk to you, and there are other people in the room, and that feels a bit weird. But got to get used to it.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Sarah.
Before we do a quick warm-up, because then we're going to do a take, could you just speed run washing line? Now that it's got stuff on, check that it's okay holding it up with the weight that it is now.
Oh, thanks, Esme.
Because that's taken us about half an hour.
Yeah, we were all
Taken
sort
us
of
10
stood
minutes,
here,
not even that.
wondering what to do.
Abraham had 7 sons. 7 sons had Father Abraham. Left elbow in, right leg in, nod the head, Father Abraham. Can't think of anything that rhymes with camera.
Put yourself all there, Scott.
There's someone called Sandra.
I'm quite sure.
So how did yesterday go, Scott?
Oh, well, you just want me to stop singing about you?
No, you can sing about me.
I thought yesterday went really well, actually. It was always going to be a slow day because, like, some of the things that we had to set up have to be done once, and then we can revisit them time and time again. So hopefully the pace should pick up today. But I think it went really well. I think we ended up taking 4 complete shots of Act 1. And I think we certainly have viable options among those 4, which is really nice. So we can effectively just move on now. We can be in Act 2 and 3 today. Today is the tough day. We've got a lot to do, but I'm quietly confident.
The plan for today then is to...
So, first of all, we have to light Act 2 and then shoot Act 2, and I'd like to get that done before lunch if it's possible. I don't think it's too complex technically, so it should be okay. Then we have lunch and then light Act 3 and shoot Act 3, and that will be hard because I think Act 3 is definitely the trickiest thing to do. There's lots of, it's where the vignettes are, so tight light on this frame, moving quickly over to here, then this light comes in behind, so that'll be the trickiest one to do, I think. So this afternoon will be harder than this morning, but let's see.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome, Tara.
What are we doing today and how did yesterday go?
Yesterday was fab. It was really hard work, but we filmed Splice 1. So that's all done now in the can, and it's a bit weird because I never have to do a washing line ever again, and it feels like this is sort of the never-ending show that we're just never going to finish.
Sounds like you really like it.
No, I love it, but it's been a year, so it's time to go.
Aww.
Today we're doing Splice 2, and we have to take it first. Hopefully we're going to do Splice 3 as well. That's Scott's hope. I don't know if it's just being overly ambitious. So
we shall see. Thanks. Hello, Shiv and Marianne.
Hello. I play Pauline.
And who's Pauline?
Pauline and Maureen are a bit of a double act, and they're sort of like the narrator type characters I play. But today I am like a body in the cult. I'm not Pauline at the minute, but.
Ooh. And then Marianne, hello. Who do you play in this fantastic play?
Elsa in the cult.
And have you got a big role today?
Well, we do the festival today, and the festival's my hallucination. And I get to fall in love with Leroy. It's great.
Yay. How did yesterday go? Anyone?
It was good. It was good.
Yeah?
Exciting. Yeah.
How do you think today's going to go?
Good. Yeah, it was a good day. Good vibes. Good vibes today. Yeah.
Sarah is the newest member to the cult, so she joins because her mum's just died and she's looking to find joy, and she thinks she can find joy in the cult. So my role, my character, is to bring joy to an organisation which doesn't have a lot of joy in.
Ooh, that's a good description.
Aria, and she is a bit of a lost soul, and she really relies on music and singing to escape. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Today we're filming Cast the Rising Sun.
Oh, is that your big solo? Big solo. And what about you, Sarah? Today's the day you
I've got to tackle the stairs today.
Yeah, tackle the stairs and eat some people. Eat Luthea.
Yes.
Yes. I bet you can't wait.
Yeah.
Which I wonder how we're doing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We'll figure it out. We'll see. How did yesterday go, Max?
Yesterday went really well, thank you. Can't wait for the show, honestly.
And what about today? Have you got a big bit today, or is it like, what is it you're doing?
I mean, it's big in energy, it's really big in energy, but not as many quick changes, which I'm really happy about.
Yay!
Yeah.
How did yesterday go?
Yes.
Went well? Are you excited,
alright,
are you excited for today?
Yeah. It's kind of like we're doing like part 2 and 3, which are like 2 of the most physical parts.
Yeah.
But I get to play guitar today, so who's...
You also get to...
I get the out of him.
Hey! Who's going to win? Who's going to win the fight today?
Logically it would be me, but we have to take pity on Jesus.
No, that's a lie. That's definitely a lie.
You leave me powerless, I can't move without you, without you.
Delightful. Just quickly, I've got
Nothing.
Here we have Scott Gray. He's back in his directors.
Nothing.
Baby, how was I supposed to know that something wasn't right?
It's uncanny.
It's uncanny.
It's uncanny.
And you're doing this part of the hand movement. So the timing, I won't do it because I don't know it. So bottom, up, top.
Where are we
down.
Where do you like the bar? You don't know the power that you have on me.
It looks great.
It has become a little bit like, how fast can I waft? And this arises from plastiques. This arises from parts of your, like I'm not saying, I don't want it gentle, but a part of your body or 2 parts of your body working in opposition or in contrast to each other, and you being pulled through space, not you not you wafting. Does that make sense? That's going to be divine. Well done. Oh my God, she's filming again. Today we need your focus while we're plotting, so for you to be really contained, and then for you to unleash when it comes to shooting. Let's do it. Thank you very much. Nice and contained now, please. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
No cat, please. Get away from me. I'm gonna lose it.
I cannot work under these conditions.
You can follow me. You can always follow me. I don't mind.
How you doing, darling?
Don't let her charms sway you.
Come on.
I know what that's like.
Where are we going?
How we do? Don't know.
I'm good. How are you? How was yesterday?
I'm so sorry to interrupt. We need the finger lights. That's at the start of the section.
We need. Yeah.
Where are they?
That's a very good point. One moment.
We'll be right back. Someone brought down a wig with them.
What are you doing, Matt?
So I am creating Luthea's entrails. They kind of rip Luthea open and then she gets, am I allowed to say she gets lifted to the ceiling?
Yeah, this is after the production.
Yeah, so I play Vic in this.
And who's Vic?
So Vic is a member of the Sky High Command, and he's kind of a failed actor who tries his best to stay acting even though he's found himself in this strange cult. And when we've done some kind of backstory stuff, you know, he's obsessed with Oscar Wilde. And it came here because he's like, I love Oscar Wilde, these are people that love Oscar Wilde, they're going to be my friends. And then all of a sudden there's moon crashing into the earth and things. And it's a bit like, what's going on? And I think he's very confused.
It looks so good and the lights are still turned on.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking bright.
Yeah, look, do it to yourself.
My fingers are too small.
Oh wow.
Amazing. I mean,
And this is with the lights.
Yeah.
remember this is my favourite scene, Sarah.
Yeah. Looks great.
I'm playing Audrey, sometimes Sybil, sometimes their body on the ceiling.
And which they're setting up now.
Yeah.
And I know who are they?
So Audrey, she's like one that came after the first sort of high scan committee group, and she's the one that recruits people on the street. She has like a little cardboard dog called Dog. You will see in the vignette, and she recruits people because she's lonely and she wants more friends, and she's been blackmailed by Darius to do that. But she's really nice. She's a really nice, kind, quiet person despite doing that. Yeah, then she plays Sybil in the festival, which is in love with Dorian, so much in love that she gives her life to him. That's it.
Thanks. And are you enjoying today?
So far so good. Nervous because it's a very techy, complicated scene. There's a lot of screaming. It'll be fun. Like once we're gonna do it, we'll be like yes.
And what have we got here?
So I'm taking the pictures, production shots. Sarah's doing as well. She's doing amazing for us. Just like a backup help because I love it.
Literally me this whole show.
Wait.
Is this what I look like?
So Sarah, is this still recording? Yeah, cool. So Sarah, how was the experience of making our documentary been?
The boom mic in shot.
Yeah, it is. It's too close.
Sorry,
No, fact, no, genuinely. Sarah, what has the experience of filming our documentary and our show been like for you?
It's been great. I've loved it. Yeah, sorry, hello to my fans at the back there.
It's the boom mic and camera again.
Sorry,
Cassandra, can you just go to the right, please?
Cassandra? Since when's your name been Cassandra?
Who called me Cassandra?
You're Cassandra, yes?
Oh yes,
Yes, you're Cassandra, yeah.
I'm really sorry, but you're being cut from this film.
Alright, alright.
Oh shit,
okay.
someone cut! Interview you. I want to interview you. So Sarah, genuinely, how has filming our show been for you?
So fun. Like, and when I'm filming it, it's really weird. I get like adrenaline rushes when you guys do, so it's really strange, but like it's killing me, but I love it. Like I love being in the action, even though I'm not seeing like the camera very much feels like
a character.
A character, a cast
Totally.
member, and you guys treat it that way. So I
Yeah,
really like it.
it feels like that, like for us as well. So like it's nice, and it's also nice for us like that it's someone that we like know and like have worked with before.
I'm glad because I was like worried. I was worried you guys like would be nervous with me there, but it's actually been fine. You guys have been so welcoming and lovely to me. So I'm so lucky to be here because you know there's like no work happening.
Yeah.
Being a graduate, you know. So yeah, I'm lucky to be here and I'm happy to be here back in the space.
Back in the space, back in the room where it happened.
In the room where it happened. Yeah, last time.
And now do a performance of Hamilton.
Ooh, the top.
Oh, that footwork, that footwork. Ooh, yes, we love.
Oh, leaf it out.
Leaf it out.
If you're wondering what that joke was about.
Vlog like you're in the cult, like
Hi, this is Ilsa.
Let me out, please.
I want a baby. I'm a lesbian.
I want to be pregnant, but they keep giving me LSD.
I have to sleep with men.
I just want to feel things again. I don't. Nothing makes sense.
What is joy?
I haven't seen the sun in 4 years. So guys, welcome to my channel. This is Ilsa recording for Sons of Dorian. Oh, Darius is here. To all our sins.
I love hedonism.
I love men.
To all our sins.
Be careful, he has explosive diarrhea.
I'm definitely not pregnant.
I'll see you next, guys. There's a new recruit. There's a new recruit. It's a new recruit.
Is the boom mic in shot?
Yeah, it is. Guys, look, it's a new recruit. A new recruit to Sons of Dorian. Wait, I'm going to turn the camera.
Okay.
You go interview the new recruit.
Yes. No.
I do not want to Sons of Dorian. I'm not.
But you're
Welcome to our cult.
You said I want to come in.
I'm not playing a stupid game.
We will tell you to
They're not real. It's a play. We made it up.
You'll join if you bring the dog.
It's not real.
It's a dog.
Hi Tess.
Hi.
Who are you playing in this fantastic production?
I'm playing Catherine L. Stanning.
And who is Catherine L. Stanning?
She's the artist in the attic. So she joined the cult of Dorian because basically Darius was like, you can do whatever you want here. You can paint, you can do this, you can do that. And I was like, sick. And Darius basically commissioned me to paint all of the members. I've got finger lights. To paint all of the members so it looks all professional around the cult. And then he commissioned me to paint Darius. And I have done it about 4 times and it's not gone right because I haven't transcended, which is obviously my fault. So yeah, and in her attic scene we see her basically break down because she just wants to sing and paint and create with no limits, and she thought she'd have that here, but she evidently doesn't. Sorry, someone's being murdered in the background.
Actually are.
But yeah, so that's why she starts to think, hey, maybe this cult isn't actually doing any better than all the other people who have stopped me in my life. And so she writes a song and she sings it and she attacks the men.
So you play and you sing, Tess?
Yes, I play Catherine, I sing, I wrote Catherine's song, I play guitar.
What's it called?
It doesn't actually have a name. I never named it. Probably just like As All That. Or You Know I'd Love to Lie, something like that. I don't know.
Oh, and a fun little thing happened to you the other day, which was really sad, but you dislocated your knee in a rehearsal.
Yes.
So is this a permanent attachment?
No, I'm just stealing this. It's meant to actually be one of the sculptures, but I just use it sometimes because, yeah, I crouched down to tune my guitar and didn't get back up again because I dislocated my knee, and it's all right now. It's back in.
Which knee?
I've been resting this knee.
Send in all the healing vibes.
Thank you. I've been resting it a lot, taking a lot of baths, doing my stretches, so it's all right. But she's not perfect.
She's taking as all that.
Oh god, that's horrible.
Ooh, that's gnarly.
So that's not his spell.
Defying gravity.
It's We're walking through the air.
Will you stop it? And then Miguel, if you go up here.
Like
yeah,
this?
that was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, just a touch later, Martin. It may be that we don't get takes done this evening and we do them first thing in the morning. We'll see how long this takes. Or it may be that we surprise ourselves and get it all done. Who knows? If you could just go to your positions, please, for the opening gallery. So we have to just make decisions. So what Miguel and Constance was talking about, how do we come into this? So because we've gone like that to come out of it, part of me thinks that we should have... Who speaks first in this one?
Me.
Part of me thinks that maybe we should have... So, da-diddle-a-da, what do you think, Siobhan?
Yeah.
Can you just walk that through and see how it... That's probably a nice way of doing it. So we'll start in black, hand over there, talk to camera. If you can walk and talk backwards and then invite...
Feliz Navidad, da 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 da. Feliz Navidad, da 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 da. Feliz.
The box might need to be a bit further up. Yeah, start off the stairs. Start at the bottom of the stairs. It's not red, but Doro.
So let her go past you and then find her face afterwards if you like, Tara.
Yeah, I didn't see you there.
Yeah, good. Then go find her face. No, but sideways.
Oh, you still want it this way?
So like that.
Welcome.
So basically for this bit, we're doing the vignettes and we're just teching and putting all the light in. Hello, everyone. We're just teching and putting all the light in for all the vignettes. Oh my god, so many people.
Exactly.
We're just hoisting the sail up now as part of Marianne's vignette because she's doing one where she's at sea.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to figure it all out, make it all work.
Are you alright here?
I know, but I'm talking about Marianne's because that's the one that we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm here.
They all have vignettes.
Yeah.
She's here.
I'm having vignettes.
Yeah.
She's vinaigrette.
Yeah.
Mine's a balsamic
I
vinegar
think
one.
it's the worst
Vinaigrette.
That is
I'm straightening your...
It's from Scott Gray. He's right there.
Oh my god, it's Scott Gray. Scott Gray. Oh my god. Scott Gray. Will you sign my t-shirt?
Can we all sign your t-shirt?
Sign my t-shirt.
Thank you.
Higher, put it higher. There we go.
Thank you. Good. How does Mussolini talk? It's. But seriously, this has been so awesome. I've had such a I met you all not knowing anything about the show or anything back in October.
Wow.
So it's been such a blessing and just really gratifying to have this time working with all of you. And you've the progress that's been made and the individual changes and watching you all create this thing from scratch and watching you all develop as a group and also individually has really just been a joy. And I'm really, really proud of all of you for all of the work that you've done. I hope you're proud of yourselves. And I am going to very much miss this.
Aww.
It's the final day of teching and shooting. We're doing it all today. So the way the process has gone is we tech a bit and then we film that bit, so it's filmed in sections. And today's the final day, which is really exciting but really sad.
It's the final day! What are we doing today?
Vignettes, which is very exciting, and it's very emotional, which you can't tell because everyone's screaming. But I was just thinking the other day, like, it's really overwhelming to us because I think a lot of us, like, our biggest dream is to come to drama school, and now we're like finally in our third year production, and this has always been the thing that's like made lockdown easier by coming back and doing this, and we finally get to do it now. It's just, it's a lot, and it's really nice that we get to actually do this.
You have to do part 3 one more time now.
Part 3 one more time.
How's that feel?
I feel sad. I'm gonna miss Imogen Jr.
5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. 2, 3, 4.
What's wrong with ya? What's wrong with ya? Good. So that level of outwardness, find your growl.
Thank you. Wow.
Right.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
The bit right here is very satisfying.
I am really covered this time.
Look what you did.
Look what, I didn't do that, she did that herself.
I did it because you haunt my dreams.
Hi Scott, what have we been up to on our final day, I think?
Well, we think it's the final day, it depends how far we get, but we've just finished shooting Act 3, which means we have one more act to go. And Act 3 was always going to be the trickiest in terms of lighting, cues, and there's blood being splattered all over the place and eggs being smashed, so it was always going to be the tricky one, so I'm very relieved to have that in the can. So we move on to Act 4 next, teching, which actually, although it's hugely climactic, from a tech point of view, I think it's pretty straightforward because all of the size and the tension comes from them, and they've rehearsed this act really well. I think this will just fly like that. So I'm hoping we'll get that tech now, then we'll take lunch, and we'll film Act 4, and just hopefully just a couple of takes, and then we've got a couple of extra bits to do, I think. So today should be our last day, failing a disaster, but let's see. So you just put that on the floor, that's fine. And then just move that a little bit closer to that one. Perfect. So it's 2:45, sorry it's very late lunch today, so we're back at 2:45, but ready to go and do this. Because then we'll probably finish this by 4, and then we've got quite a lot to do after 4 before we finish, you know, little bits and pieces to do after 4. So if we could be totally ready to go. So we're going to do like a soft run that's not a real take, so you don't have to make me believe it. So it has to be at pace, and it has to be kind of out volume as well, so we can not miss cues and that kind of thing. But don't push it yet. The time after when we do a real take, as in this is the last act, I will ask you to go wild in it, because this is the last act. The tone was like that thing, like suppressing, release, suppress. This one is a very outward kind of like, whoa, it's vomiting the play all over the space. So you don't have to do that in this go, but time after, I'd really like to spend everything you've got. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thunder all over the stage.
No. Bad.
No, Fran has to sit.
What are we about to do, guys?
We're about to do
Maybe the
last
run.
part. Yeah, the last run. It's the last part of the show ever.
Are we excited?
Very excited. I'm sad though.
It's
emotional.
It's a bittersweet moment.
It is. It's that like we've been doing this
15
show
months
for
of work.
over a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Do you
this
think
is
we'd
it.
have done this as our device piece if there was no coronavirus
No.
and we did immersive? We did
No,
the immersive.
because
Do you
this
think we'd
would have
done
been our
something completely
immersive.
This was our immersive.
Yeah.
It would have been something completely different.
You guys are crazy.
Be strange.
We're crazy, but you.
What have you got? It is mine. Oh my god, Fontaine, is that you?
What's wrong? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I'm not allowing you to have it out loud. And suppressing at your...
Come alive, vista!
Come alive, vista!
No, la vista!
No, la vista!
No, la vista!
No, la vista!
Red! So, we're going to do one more verse of this. Stay red. This will be the last time we ever do this as a group. Ever. Right? You will not be working as a company on Showcase. I will not be present in part. So last time doing Como La Vista, and then that is going to be the energy that forces into your catapult. Okay? This is fast. You ready? You ready? Fuck.
Come on, vista!
No, la vista!
No, la vista!
Father Abraham had 7 sons. 7 sons had Father Abraham.
Yeah, going to black.
Rolling.
5, 4, 3.
Now my charms are all overthrown.
No!
No! Alright, I think it's work. Oh.
You'll get a stiff neck.
Sorry. I'm going.
Oi! Are you listening?
Sorry. Sorry.
Right, all that, and these.
Take that. Thank you very much.
I had my way. If I had my way.
Stop! I order you to stop! You were instructed very specifically to be silent, have the deprivation before you join us for the evening.
It's amazing what you can train a person to do! At the sight of sensation, we were told to confront it! All this pleasure.
But you only wanted us to drown in pleasure so we could never know joy.
Never knowing the lasting fullness of making, connecting, knowing ourselves. Pleasure is so fleeting that within moments you just have to keep running back for more and more and more. What do you say, Darius?
I say you're all insane. I'm not afraid of you.
Then maybe you'll listen to a friend of ours. Our story, our rules.
Who are you? Who dares awaken Dorian Gray? Who dares to
For too long, we were mistaken about the stories we wanted our gallery to tell, and we were far too influenced by others' opinions. But that's not being true to ourselves, is it, Maureen?
No, it's not, Pauline.
So what has it we've decided to do with our gallery, Maureen?
Well, Pauline, after the fall of the Sons of Dorian, each member of the court was released into the outside world with their new independent mission to spread joy. They all
Purposes, we present our newest exhibition. Not the Sons of Dorian, but instead a new collection we have entitled
Sisterhood,
as painted by Catherine L. Stanning.
Up there!
Yeah, well, I'll give you that one. I enjoyed that.
This is alcohol free, everyone watching at home.
What's alcohol? What is that?
Good answer.
Good for sanitising hands, I hear.
For straight
really?
Happy birthday to
Well, the worst thing is that my dad's called Ian Gray. So every time we say Dorian Gray, I'm like, where is he? Where is he? Am I in trouble?
So welcome everyone. I'm talking to the audience at home, but I'm also talking to all of our wonderful cast and of course... Exactly, and we also have with us, not Dorian Gray, but the next best thing, Scott Gray. So this is the penultimate finale to documenting Dorian. We've called this the wrap party, the after party.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask Scott, so how has it been, not only creating a show during a pandemic, but directing during a pandemic with multiple stop-starts, and we've just finished filming today. How has all of this been for you?
It's been an unadulterated nightmare from start to finish. Like it's like these people. No, it's been an incredible joy to work on. But like I have never worked under these circumstances before. I've never. Like none of us have ever worked in a situation where we're like, well, let's do a piece of text-based ensemble physical theatre 2 meters apart from each other at all times, wearing masks. And obviously that, you know, the goalposts have moved constantly, which I'm not complaining about. Like none of us have ever been in a pandemic before, but we have had to innovate constantly and think, okay, how should we deal with this? And there was even a point in January when lockdown 3 started. I don't think in months anymore. I think in terms of relationships to lockdowns. When for a few days, remember, we were like, okay, so this ensemble piece of physical theatre about a group of people who've come together in a cult is now going to be filmed on an iPhone in your own living room. And then you're going to email it to me and we're going to put it together. And don't worry, it'll be fine. And, you know, I was putting on a very brave face about that, but I was like, oh my God, that is like the opposite of anything I want to do.
Yeah.
So look, we overcame all of those things, and we actually, like, what it forced us into was a situation where when you devise a piece of theatre, you really want like 12 to 24 months to make it. And that is what we ended up having. Like normally we'd do this in 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And because of all the stops, we ended up having all this breathing space. And I think that it's definitely true that, you know, we had an R&D period. Before that, we had like a workshop period, like about 15 months ago. Which gave us lots of time to decompress. I think that probably created a lot of detail and texture we wouldn't have had. Like there were probably 8 different plays we could have done. There was a version where Diggs, played by Max, was born in the cult, and his father kind of accidentally started the cult. And we could, as you do, like, he just wanted his son to live in a place that was all pleasure, and he didn't realise that would turn into like a religious order that would end up oppressing women.
We've all been there.
We've all been there, absolutely. That's on weekends.
Exactly.
And we couldn't tell that story and all the other stories we wanted to tell. So there's 7/8 of this play on the cutting room floor, but at least we've had the time to explore all of that. You know, you know, no one likes pandemics, but if you have to have one. You know, it gave us some good opportunities, I guess.
Yeah, which, speaking of like cutting things, was there anything that we did early on, you know, you devised, or maybe even just an idea that you thought really would be in the show and it hasn't been in it at all? Oh,
there was, I mean, hundreds. I really felt the loss of the Diggs and his dad storyline. I wanted that in, but it was too distracting for a piece about the oppression of women. That made it a piece not about the oppression of women and how women might break free from those shackles. There was a piece we had where one of the members talked to God through a saxophone that I loved, but that couldn't stay in. All sorts of it. There was a really lovely ballet pas de deux that we had from Siobhan and Marianne that I think ended up kind of feeling like it went into the joy dance. It felt like it was related. So there's lots of stuff that we left behind, but you know, they say when you're making stuff, you have to kill your babies.
Yeah.
And so often, you not heard that? You not heard that expression
that
before?
classic saying, you know.
So it's not that you have to kill your babies, but you have to be willing to. So there might be something you really love, but it's not for this play. So maybe those things maybe your babies will go into future pieces of theatre you make, but they weren't for this piece, I suppose.
Totally. Which was your, I don't want to say favourite in front of everyone.
Oh no, it's fine, it's easy. My favourite bit was no, there's a few bits I really love. I love Samson and Delilah, which was a song that was proposed by Matt during lockdown. I love the attic scene between Celeste and Diggs. That's a really nice, tender thing. I love the seance because it's just bonkers. Every time anyone sees that for the first time, they go, "Is everything okay at home, Scott?" Sure, you're okay. The fight I thought was beautiful. So we must shout out Ben Peterson, who's the movement director on. I cannot be with with us.
He can't be with us this evening.
Don't worry, he's not dead. He's working somewhere else today. Because the first time I saw the fight, he sent me a little video on WhatsApp of the first time it was choreographed, and I sent it to a few people. So I'm like, oh my god.
A little bit of we come out.
Yeah, a little bit of we came out, exactly. So I love the fight. I think that's really special. There's lots of bits. I think there are bits that stick out for me.
And then obviously, have you ever had to do a filmed piece of theatre before?
No.
So how did you go about that? I'm quite interested in, I saw quite a change in you throughout the rehearsal process, especially the last couple of weeks.
Angrier.
What has?
I just got angrier, didn't I? That was the change. I just became angrier.
Oh, no, not at all, but like...
Do it better.
How did you go about, all of a sudden you're like, right, because you've directed obviously a lot of stage stuff, and then now you're like, I need to direct for film and be seeing it from that point of view. Was that different for you?
I don't know is the answer. I think the thing is, because at this point none of us have seen the play, so I don't know if it's worked. And that's a risk we had to take. Like, it might be a disaster on camera. In the room, it worked. Like, there were, it was tense and palpable, which is really good. But often theatre doesn't translate to camera, and we will have to see if that is the case with what we've done. I think the only thing I've really had in my mind all the time is that we're not making a film. Like, I don't have the expertise for that. That's not what the project is. Not interested in that at all. So, how can you keep things a theatricalized state, but bear in mind that your audience member, which is a floating camera, is is not somehow excluded or pushed away by it being too large a performance or whatever. I don't know. I really don't know if we've achieved that. So we'll see.
From my perspective, it like massively changed things because obviously you by having Sam, the single audience member, that all of a sudden became, well, it is still theatre, it's just told through this lens, it is still this. So you could have really made it difficult for yourself going, oh my god, I have to make it a motion picture, like it needs to be difficult, but instead what we saw was you just managed to adapt it through this lens.
Well, I think it's really interesting. So last week there was a news story, like a director, prominent director, said that the future of theatre is, I'm paraphrasing, but the future of theatre is that you should be able to watch it in your own home, and you should be able to watch it while you're doing the ironing and all that kind of thing. And that made me feel a little bit sick, because I think the point of theatre is that you can be in the same room as someone doing something horrific or something miraculous or whatever. And that's something that I love, streaming services and that kind of thing, but they will never be able to offer that. So we are in a pandemic at the moment. All right, we can't have a live audience in, but I want us to try and see to what extent we can throw that experience of being in the same room as someone doing something horrific down a lens, not something that could be passive or casual viewing. I don't know if we did it.
Good answer.
Anyway, on to you. Enough about me. What was it like? What was it like filming, like designing? Because you were a character basically. We choreographed you in from the beginning. What was it like having to figure that out?
Dangerous.
I wasn't much help.
Dangerous. Which, by the way, Matt, I stood on you today. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
He enjoyed it. It was fine.
I had my eyes shut at the end of the seance, and all I felt was like something's on my hand.
It was at the end of the seance.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's fine then, because
You're done at the end.
we've already channeled Oscar.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, for the most part, it was fine. Obviously, there's a lot of walking backwards, and it's weird. Like I was saying to some of you earlier, like when I'm filming it, I'm so concentrated on the shot, I can't really remember what happens after. Like I was like, oh, what happened during that scene? Because I'm so like this.
But that's like performing, isn't it? If you're doing it well, you don't really know what's happened.
Well, hopefully, yeah. But like, and I said to some of you yesterday as well, I got like weird adrenaline rushes when you guys did, because I can feel it, and like sometimes like the camera, I would be like, oh, I need to like stand still, like I'm not supposed to be, but that like worked as well. Well, I hope it worked, but yeah, it very much felt like I was Sam was like that audience member, and that came through for me as well. And you guys have all been so welcoming. I'm a year above you. I graduated last year, so thank you for that, and thank you for letting me do it. It was completely new for me and like new for you, and because of that, I think it worked so well. Had you been like, no, can you do it this way, this way, this way? Or I'd have been like, no, can you do it this way? Instead it was like, right, what's working, what's not working?
Well, we had to figure out together with Ben as well. Like we literally made it up as we went along, because we had to. Like I'm not aware particularly. There's a piece of theatre called Time of Your Life by Gecko that they collaborated with the BBC and did this kind of single take piece of physical theatre that sort of influenced this. And there's no text in that, or not any kind of like specific text in it, so it's very different in lots of ways. But I'm not really aware of this being done that much. Like what we did is a promenade piece of theatre where we choreographed in an audience member who happened to be holding a really expensive camera. And,
It's fine. I didn't. I was so proud of myself.
It's just coming to my mind, and you asked about favourite bits of mine in the play,
Yeah, go on.
which I've never said to Miguel. The bit when Oscar Wilde goes in the séance, every time you go, Oscar! And the innocence in his face, like his heart breaks, because he's like, no, don't go, I have so much to ask you. So much I need to know.
What is this accent?
I don't know, I think that's my Geordie. Famously, I don't teach accents at this place. Famously.
Can I slightly interject?
Yeah, yeah.
Because, Zara, you said thank you for us letting you, take part in everything. And I think we all want to say thank you to you.
What a queen!
What a queen!
I mean, this literally would not have happened without Zara Yeager.
Oh, thanks. It would have been interesting had it not been filmed that way. Would it have been a stationary camera? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I would say that I hope in the future, my dearest hope is that one day I'll be walking past Camden People Theatre and I'll see like Sons of Dorian, Cheese and Imogen. That's another subplot we lost that I love. So like it happened underneath the story, but I'd love to see what happened with all these little offshoots of story. And I hope that this story gets told in a live setting at some point. Whether it's 3 of you doing it or all of you doing it, or Diggs the one-man show or something.
Sons of Dorian, Celeste in Manchester.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there we go. Because
Celeste takes Manchester.
it's cheaper up in Manchester, so we're going to the Manchester Fringe Festival. It's much better than down here.
oh, well, thank you so much, Scott.
Hey, you're welcome.
Sorry, I'm
So we've got Matt here, we've got Anya. Yeah, maybe we should get you some chairs. That would be nice.
Come in.
What's going on?
The committee's shrunk, actually.
Yeah. Right, so we've got Constantine, our straight on the end, sat obviously on his toilet. We have Miguel, Leroy, Anya, and then we have Matt, also known as the Sky High Command. Welcome, you guys, to the big finale.
Hello.
This probably feels daunting, but don't let it be. So pretty much like the same as Scott, I just wanted to ask you guys, obviously you guys are in the cult, you are you're the leader of the cult, you guys are up there. I wanted to know, like, out of all of you, which of your characters actually believes in the Sons of Dorian? Like, who actually believes, like, the moon will crash into the air?
God bless him.
Yeah, but just you, like Darius, you obviously believe,
yeah,
right?
Besides Cheese, I think Darius is the one that literally believes all that's going to happen, and I also think Celeste as well, because we had like a lot of talks about what the backstories of our characters.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talk about so many different stuff. It could be anything. But we did have an idea that Celeste and Darius were a couple, and then they started looking for people to sort of join in with them and find pleasure, and then ultimately create a cult. So I think, Darius and Celeste for sure, and then we found Cheese on our vacation, and we decided to take him in.
It took me as a pet.
Because we loved him. It's such a...
It's so cute somehow though, it's really weird, but it's very sweet.
I think that's kind of the heart of this play, is these really bizarre and crazy relationships and friendships that don't make sense, but actually the people that are in them are like, this is my life, this is like, it's bizarre.
Yeah. I totally agree, and thinking about things that are bizarre, the movement that happens in this show is insane. So you all obviously do movement stuff throughout the show, a lot of transitions, a lot of running about. Miguel and Leroy, since you're right there, obviously Scott just mentioned the fight that you did, and also both of you do a lot of physical stuff throughout the show. I just wanted to know, like, was that something that you actively wanted to put in, or is it something that is just so built into you as actors that that's the way you express? Like, how do you feel about it?
I think it was both. Like, it was an offer first, capoeira, like, because Scott loves it. It wasn't because of us, definitely. No, it was because of us.
It definitely was. We went through a bit of a weird phase. We were like, capoeira, I want it.
Like, we wanted some kind of fight, like...
Yeah.
But the offer was from Scott and then Ben, like, as the expertise of capoeira in itself, and like, it comes from Was it karate or kung fu or whatever you're gonna?
Yeah. So like we both have like very like distinctive styles. So like I'm very like rigid and kind of specified with my movement, whereas Miguel is way more explosive and free with his. And so like we built a lot of that into it. But I think one of my favorite things about the actual origin of the fight is that it comes from first year, where we had so Scott introduced us to this movement game where the whole point of it was to hit the back of your opponent's knee.
Oh yeah.
So you had to keep track of that, and I think that was kind of where like for me that's where it started. Like it came from that originally because like whenever me and Miguel were at it, like we were at it.
Leroy, while we've got you there as well, obviously one of the most important things that happens in the production, or one of the things that stands out to me anyway, I should say, everything's important obviously, is Powerless, the song, and it's your course, like it's your, you know, your anthem, isn't it? Did you ever anticipate that that might end up being in your third year production? Yeah.
Absolutely not. I mean, kind of like my songwriting was more of like a hobby and stuff. Like I never really took it seriously, and then kind of wrote Powerless in first year, showed off in a class, and people were like this is good. Like you should keep going with it. And then kind of we were just doing a warm up for one of the classes, and I just happened to be playing it at the time, and Scott walks in and just goes, "Yeah, that's mine now. You have no right to control this."
If somebody's hit, I own the rights.
Scott, well, I think by technicality, I don't own the rights to it anymore, which is interesting. But I don't know, life goes on.
It's such an incredible song, isn't it? And I'm so glad that you guys got, because it means so much to you, and you know this course knows about it. So I'm really glad that it got to be in the show, and I'm pretty sure those watching at home that know the song already are going to be so thrilled when they hear that it's in the show.
But I think it works also without that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it works as if you've got no idea that Powerless is our course anthem and we sing it all the time. Like it's and I think there's a lot of things in this show that are like that, like kind of private in jokes to our course that even if you don't get the in joke, you can appreciate what's there.
Can I just point out, I have to highlight that my favourite part of that is that in the script it refers to 4 seasons total landscaping. There was about 2 weeks of the research and development period where we didn't get much work done because we were laughing so much. The Rudy Giuliani booked 4 seasons total landscaping to deliver a speech about the Trump presidency, all of it. And it meant to book the 4 Seasons Hotel, not 4 Seasons Total Landscaping. And there was a long period where we didn't get any work done. We were just crying on the floor. And it made it into the play. So look, joy. That's joy, kids. Yeah.
Speaking of joy, for each of you, you don't have to answer if you can't think of anything. What was your favourite part of the show, whether it's something you did or something that happened in the show? Just to wrap it up for you guys.
I love Samson and Delilah. And I mean, it's gone through, you know, like Scott said earlier, it was kind of one of those things where I was listening to it and I thought, actually, this could really work. And I did a really shaky arrangement of it and sent it to Scott, and it was me playing the ukulele and the violin and the harmonica and using Coke bottles as percussion. And it was very much like the Samson and Delilah after everything's happened and like the, yes, we've done everything. And Scott was like, yeah, this is really cool, let's use it. And the way Scott's taken that and made it into the beautiful thing it is in this play, because, you know, it's changed. And these guys do it so well. Like, it's one of those things where you go, oh my God, I want to be in that part of the show and I can't be. And yeah, I think that, you know, tear in the eye. And House of the Rising Sun as well. Like, and I don't know, but I would actually, me and Siobhan are in kind of a tableau in that, and we were both crying at each other. When we were filming it yesterday.
She minded it,
so, it's actually Scott's voice.
It's a click track.
But yeah, I think that just the music in this show really makes it and powers it through.
Yeah.
I've suddenly forgotten the whole show and I'm going to circle back to me.
That's fine. One of my favourite bits is the newest scene that was added with you and Max. It actually is.
Yes, I love that.
I love
scene.
that. The lighting in that is beautiful as well. Shout out to the tech team and Paul filming this. Leroy at the back, favourite bit?
It's self-indulgent, but just the lifts.
Yeah.
I just love doing them, and like some of them I had like a lot of creative control over, and other ones kind of like were more strictly choreographed. As to not hurt anyone, but I just enjoy it. It's just fun to do.
Miguel?
My favorite bit is the end of the play, because that's
it's over.
portrays. No, it's actually the opposite. It's for what we accomplished all together. You know, it's for that's the actually portrays of joy. You know, that we end up over like with, and to end up with that, like, and all this year and a half that we've been with this, like, that's our celebration together, you know. And I'm really glad that we have that moment all together in Sons of Dorian. So that's a good reflection throughout the whole play. Of course, I love every single bit of it, even when I'm not in it. Definitely when I'm not in it. But yeah, like, that's definitely the bits that I love the most.
That's beautiful. I really can't wait for you guys to see this. Like, I'm so excited because you'll get to like keep it forever. Do you know what I mean? And you guys made it. So, last but not least, Constantinos.
So I would say that my favorite bit was the second set of vignettes, because I think people worked very hard on them, and it was something that literally just was created by them, for them. So yeah, I like that bit because I thought that we took we took a sneak peek into, like, if this is the correct words, like, into the subconscious of the characters. For example, Miguel's character was having a nightmare, or yeah, all these things that we could see, like, what's beyond what we see in the play. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And yeah, there was a vignette that I would be seeing and reading a newspaper.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next
West End
time.
transfer, yeah?
Well, thank you so much to the Sky High Command. So, joining us next, we have Maureen and Pauline, also known as Chelsea and Siobhan, and then we also have Max and the lovely Fran. So come do a swapperoo. So sitting with us, we have, well, I've been calling you guys the present because you guys are like the present timeline, if that makes sense, because obviously we have two timelines running throughout the show, this timeline and what happens behind through the portrait, which is the Sons of Dorian and all of that history. So we've got Fran, Max, Siobhan, and we have Chelsea here. Where to begin? Let's start with you two, since you're right here in your beautiful costumes.
God, I
So,
don't guess.
Maureen and Pauline, still not sure who's who.
I'm Maureen.
I'm Pauline.
Thank you, that helps.
Alright.
I'll forget in about 5 seconds.
What's the leader? Still here. Method, what can I say?
So, this was obviously a part that Scott gave you, right? It wasn't something that just, oh, we want to do this double act, you know? So I just wondered how you guys, like, got into those characters working together. So it was so seamless in the movements and stuff. I just want to ask you about that.
So I don't know about you, but I read the script and I absolutely cackled because that is my sense of humour.
Yes.
I think the secret was we just both find ourselves really funny.
Yes,
So
that's
we
the
could
thing of
put
it.
that
No,
into the
we
characters.
hilarious. We figured out the wrong end of the stick gag, and we thought we were hilarious. And Emily came in the room, and she was like, "Do you think like you're funny?" And we were like, "Yeah." And they were like, she was like, "No. As Maureen and Pauline, do they find us funny?" And we were like, "Still, yeah." And I think that is like the underlying bit of it. Like they think they're hilarious.
And they are hilarious. The t-shirt gag. Whose idea was that? Anyone remember?
That was my idea. Oh, it was Emily.
That is being taken away from me.
So this is your fault.
It was Emily.
This is your fault.
This is Emily.
You get all the glory, Emily.
Thank you.
All of
Where's
it.
my paycheck?
So Scott, I know this is like coming back to you. What made you want to cast these two specifically together?
So this didn't exist in the research and development phase. Like we didn't have a narrative framing device. And if we didn't have a narrative framing device, we had a responsibility to do all the exposition within the world of the Sons of Dorian, which meant that there'd be a lot of characters talking to each other in ways that feel very unnaturalistic. So we had to figure out a way for the story to be told, but were like once removed. And to be honest, Chelsea and Siobhan always felt like the natural choice for it, because I think, and I really mean this, you should get a presenting show reel together, because you are very funny together. Not that other people aren't funny, but there's just something about your chemistry. No, that's because we're doing a presenting show reel together. There's something about your chemistry together, and it's been the case. I've taught you for 3 years. It's always been the case that I think that I think you might be comedians. Now that's something for you to explore, but but I wanted to exploit that fully for my own gain in this piece. So.
I just thought that'd be nice. sweet to know, you know. What
Thanks.
made
Cheers,
his
Scott.
little mind do that?
My little mind.
Yeah. Alright, your big mind, I'm not sure. Anyone home? Hello. And then at the back we have the school kids. I think that's what we call them, right? Yeah. So obviously you guys, you multi-role a lot throughout this. So you guys have more distinguished characters, let's say, and you're also like referring to the camera and things. But you guys, you're like the audience. You have no clue what's going on, and then next thing you know, you're in a different timeline. So what was it like, both being the school kids and you're like, what's going on, to I'm in a cult and I'm a different person now?
I think it was like just an adventure, because every time we did it, it was always new, and like we'd always like find new things. So even though we knew, like I was like, okay, so this is what happens next, and now I'm not a schoolgirl, I've got to take my blazer off and I'm a different person. Like it was still like I still found like the joy in it and like finding my way through it. Like it was
Yeah, I mean, not only do I play the schoolboy, I also play Diggs, but honestly, I just really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed being thrust between the present and the cult, and finding the joy each time, even though I knew in the script what was going to happen. And I just really enjoyed. I enjoyed our relationship, especially like sharing about just sharing about the bloody fireworks.
Always comes back.
I always think you can totally imagine how these two get on at school as well. I bet they're a nightmare in class. I bet the teacher's like, for goodness sake, will you two just calm down?
never.
How
Fran's
dare.
like, don't talk to me like that. Fran's the one that's like lobbing pencils across the room.
Yeah, totally.
So like beyond the play, what do you think you two grew up to like? Do you reckon you guys told stories about what you'd learned? Do you reckon you go back to the gallery and you try and find
I think
more
it's like the
information?
maddest day out we've ever had. Like, nothing can top that. Yeah, I definitely think it sticks with them.
Yeah.
Especially at the end, where like schoolgirl realises, like it kind of all the pieces kind of come together. I think like that would like stick with her for quite a long time, and she'd carry that through, like through like her adolescence and like into the future and stuff.
I also just while I'm on you, Fran, I wanted to talk about what's the title of your song again? It's beautiful. That's it. Yeah, it's gorgeous, and obviously at the end, you know, Konstantinos and doing all of that stuff. How was it performing that? Because on camera, it's one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. And obviously in person it is as well. But, if you know, I do say so. So how is it being that vocally gifted?
Just pointing it out.
Teach us.
Well, like I'm not sure how to answer that. I
humble.
just feel like every time that I can get up and just sing, like it just feels like a privilege. Like I just absolutely love it, and I just like connected to the song so much, and like when I sang it, it was just like this. I just like, you know, when you forget, you get something, you get to the end of something, and you're like, oh my god, I've just done something.
Yeah.
That's how it felt every time. It's like I was just so in the moment with it all the time. I really like connected to like Tess was playing the guitar, she was just finger picking, and it was so like basic, which made the words like so much more like hard hitting.
I have to say, during the process as well, like the amount of times I said to Fran, learn this. She'd come back the next day and we're like, how do you know it perfectly already? Every time. So it was never like, Fran doesn't have this part of her learning a song phase where she's like, oh, I'm a bit unsteady, I'm a bit unsure on this. She either doesn't know it and she goes, I'll learn it, or she comes in and she's like, okay, well, here's my X Factor's winner single. There isn't an in-between.
And that's why...
No. It was a stupid comment.
It was a comment, I want to know now.
Dad joke.
Chelsea.
It was.
Alright, I'll let you off. I was just going to say, which is why, you know, Scott, you're so great. Are you alright? Do you want your moment?
No, I don't. I showed it.
Taxi Sheldon.
Meltdown. Which I was just going to say, Scott, you know, the thing we're doing a devised piece of theatre, you've been able so acutely, I think, to show everyone's talents and gifts across such a wide spectrum. I think it just says a lot about you as a director that, you know, you did it with my cohort and now you've done it with these guys, and it's just like so great. You know, all of you have all of these instruments that you play and harmonies you can do and songs and puppetry and, you know, photography as well. So it's just like, well done, Scott. You know, you really managed to get, I think, everybody in this.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's the point with the device. If you're doing a device piece, like, there's no point trying to fit you into a thing. actually what we're looking for is the fullest expression of you.
Yeah.
And that is a very different thing for Fran than it is for Luthia, than it is for Anya. Like, you're looking for like the perfect theatrical distillation of each human being. And that's not achievable necessarily, but like that's what you're working towards, I think.
Thank you. Quickly then, what is your favourite part of the show? Chelsea?
Ooh, seance.
Seance.
Yeah, because so I'm off stage and I'm like stood over there trying not to be caught in a camera. I'm like on the verge of snorting like every single time. I'm literally there like, oh, after every joke.
True.
I think it's got to be Samson and Delilah, because I think the thing with mine and Chelsea's characters is that we aren't really in the cults ourselves until we choose to go in.
Yeah.
So there was always a bit of a disconnect there for us. But like that, when we first did that song, that was the moment where we were like, oh, now like we feel like we're part of it, and it was such a nice moment.
Max?
Right, I have so many, all of it, but honestly, I have a few favourite parts, but honestly, I loved the whole devising process. I mean, it's been an incredibly tough 15 months, and honestly, the thing that brought me true joy, it really has been coming into this rehearsal room, knowing that everyone here is going to be there, and knowing that we eventually made this. I mean, I'm just... Oh my God, we are so talented.
That's right.
If I do say so myself.
Fran?
Yeah, I think I've got to agree with Siobhan. It's definitely Samson and Delilah. Like the way, like us girls sing together, it's like moving, really is. And it just it really is. And you can feel it in our voices. Like you really can feel it. I think that's just magical. So yeah,
it's incredible to watch, honestly.
Well, thank you, the present. Thank you so much, gallery. Right, last but not least, we have the sisterhood, the girls. Yeah. So joining us, we have Tess at the back, Grace in the middle back, Em, also known as Emily. We have Luthia, sorry, I'm like going completely blank, and then Marianne joining us with us. Hello, how are we doing?
Good.
Good.
My feet though, but
Yeah, it's hard on your feet. No, like you've been being barefoot for the past like 4 days. We kept getting home every night and being like, my feet hurt, like, because this floor feels really different than the floor we were like rehearsing on, and that was one of the things that I didn't expect to like find different this week, but it felt really different. Like, yeah, weird.
Yeah, I agree. It's been tough on all of our bodies, but in a good way. You know, we'll be aching over the weekend, but on Monday we'll be like, oh, I'm longing for those aches once again.
How blooming will be.
I don't know. So, let's start the front since you're right there for me, Emily. Let's talk about, so you play the ukulele in this.
Yes.
You do, and you also have one of the cutest but saddest vignettes ever. Talk to us about like that, because this came from you, right? A concept you thought of.
Yeah, well, so we had a meeting about our vignettes and sort of talked about our characters and stuff, and I don't know, I just sort of, the world I built for my character called Imogen was that she has this need to nurture and love because she'd had a baby that was taken from her, and obviously like making the vignettes was hard because it was sort of, we want this to like, you have to pack a punch and show so much in such a little space of time, which is really hard. It is really hard, and like it was just like it sort of came in every time and be like, is this gonna work? Maybe no, maybe yes. So yeah, I played the ukulele in my second vignette.
And you wrote that song, right?
Yeah, my shitty little ditty.
Might have to bleep that, Sarah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, like, it's just because Scott asked us to be, like, obsessive about character work and stuff, and I was just, I don't know, like, just thought, oh, I'll write a little song, and I did that, and I played it with Scott, and Scott said, well, I think you should just do that in your vignette with an egg smashing on my shoulder, which like blew up the second time. It really scared me. Like it was huge. It went everywhere.
Through the frame as well.
Yeah, I was
got
like,
dried egg on my
whoa.
plate.
It's huge, yeah.
Thank you for letting us know about that. Tess, just because we were talking to Emily just there about like writing songs, you also wrote a song. Was it just for this production, or had you already written it?
Yeah, it was for this production because ages and ages ago when we were doing like R&D and lots of proposals, basically every time we came in, bring us a proposal, whatever it is, don't care if it's good or bad or finished or you've just started or it's just an idea. And so I knew I wanted to sing in this play and I haven't song written in a while because Uni's just so busy. So after a lesson one day, we'd done an etude where me and Chelsea were I was trying to leave the cult and Chelsea's character was trying to stay, but we were best friends and it was really hard, it was a really sad etude. And so I wrote the song about that. And I showed it to Scott, I was like, what do you think? And he was like, love it, it's going in probably. And that was ages ago, so I was like, it won't go in. And I got the script, I was like, oh my god, it's in! And then Marianne did some beautiful piano things, because I'm literally just like, chords. I can't play piano. And yeah, now it's a part of the thing forever, and I got to sing it as well, so that was really lovely.
It's so incredible that you've written something for this show, like, you know, and obviously it's so catchy as well. Like, I go home singing all of your songs.
It's stuck in my head for
yours
like
is in my
2
head
months.
all the time. Yeah, and is it weird, like, hearing people, like, walking around and they're just, like, singing the same lyric of your song over and over again?
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, that's a nice song.
I'm glad you like your own composition.
Yeah, it was really exciting, and I was really happy that I was able to actually put it in the piece, because I didn't think that necessarily it would be at a good enough level to do that, so it's really cool that I got to do that.
Write more, please write more.
It's really a lot of work.
I know, but the people want it.
Yeah. My fans want it.
The sons of Dorian will come for you. Who have we got there? We've got Luthea. Hi Luthea, how are you doing?
Hi.
Good. A bit tired maybe?
Very tired. I was hanging on the ceiling.
That's another favourite part of mine. We strung Luthea up from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Not literally.
It wasn't actually me.
Spoiler. Was that weird, you know, seeing the
Oh my god, it was disturbing.
Yeah.
Like seeing yourself, obviously was wearing another wig, so it was kind of okay, but seeing the same clothes and everything.
Yeah.
And we only found out until we started rehearsals because it wasn't on the script. And the
Yeah.
script was like, Festival of Dorian, Luthea, Sybil, done. And then we started rehearsals like, yeah, we're gonna hound you up. Great.
I accidentally told my housemate last night that we strung you to the ceiling, and he went, really? Like, you dangled
It's okay, I can hold my breath a really long time.
Yeah, he was really impressed for a minute. I was like, oh, dummy. He's like, oh, okay.
You all right?
Still impressed. All right. You should have actually done it, you know? So I wanted to talk about your puppetry, the work that you did. So you made that dog, right?
Yeah, I mean, I made lots of things for them. I was like, do we need a protest sign? Yeah, I'll do it. 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Can I build a dog? Yeah, can do that. I built
Yeah.
lots of stuff from this.
Yeah.
Because I just enjoy that. And actually, when I was building the dog, a cat coming into the bedroom trying to destroy the dog, and I was like, get out.
That's so
It's
poetic.
realistic. And he's...
Hey!
No, take me, take me. Take me to me.
I took his leg off.
What's his
earlier,
name,
it's back
Luthea?
on, it's fine.
Dog.
Dog. Surely it's Pero. Perito.
So yeah, and it's also made for cardboard boxes for a pet shop, which makes it really funny. And yesterday I got an email from my gym saying, "Oh, you want to try pet mindfulness?" I'm like,
Just snap his neck, to be fair.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Luthea. I just also, like, is that your first time making a puppet? Yeah.
Yeah, because when we started the vignettes, Scott was like, yeah, something with dogs, because we love dogs.
Yeah.
We're obsessed with them. I was like, yeah, I can build up.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, we tried to get your dog in first,
We
you know.
did.
We
Yeah.
tried to get Sunny here, but
Too shy.
he's paying, you know, got to pay him too much. You know?
He's a star.
Very demanding.
He's got a show in the West End, so he couldn't come.
Like scheduling clashes.
And then in the middle, I've got more of a question for both Grace and Marianne. So you guys do a lot of dance, a lot of lifts. you know, you've got that whole sequence with Miguel and Leroy, and then obviously you've got the stuff with Leroy, and on top of that, all of the other group stuff as well. How was that like? But again, the same question that I asked, I guess, Leroy and Miguel. Is movement and dance something that's really important to you as actors, that you just wanted it to be in the piece?
Yeah, so I find my expression comes from movement. I love doing movement, and I really enjoyed having that element in the show. I really find when Scott told me, oh, your character Sarah brings joy into the cult, she's looking for joy, and he was like, oh, and we're gonna see, can you choreograph the hacker, because I choreographed the hacker at the end of the show, and he was like, can you choreograph that? I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to. Like, I definitely wanted to like put my spin, like my movement in there, and like get movement across, because I just absolutely love like dance and movement. I just find like that's definitely where my passion is, and that's something that I want to do like after as well.
Yeah, for sure. I get chills every time you do the hacker. Like, it's so powerful. Like, oh, it's so cool. Whoa. Yeah. And Marianne, obviously, well, the blood today was very funny, but aside from that, aside from that, the stuff you're doing in that vignette is so powerful, you know. So like, where did that come from, and getting Leroy involved and stuff like?
Yeah, I mean, I come from like musical theatres. Like, I've danced like my whole life, and as much as like it's not necessarily like what I do, it very much is like a part of me, if that makes sense. So like, even like the singing in my vignette and like the dance, like it just felt really like right for me. And like the backstory we'd like created when talking about my vignette was about this relationship with this like guy who shows her the whole world, and he like is her world, and then it's like taken away from her. So it didn't feel like, it felt really important to have that like person there, so it can then like be taken away and stuff. So yeah, and then like Leroy, I mean, I feel like there's a reason I do all my lifts and like stuff with Leroy in this, because like I trust him like entirely. Like, I trust Leroy to keep me safe better than I would trust myself to keep me safe. Like, I literally would just like throw myself in the air and know that like Leroy will catch me no matter what. So like, knowing that like I could like choreograph something, teach it to him, and know that like no matter what he will be there and he will like give it everything, like it's just really nice to like know and like have that. And then yeah, just get to squish my eyeballs, make a bit of a mess.
Yeah, you all been used to a bit of a
mess. Did you get blood in your shorts?
Yes.
Everywhere. My feet are pink. Yeah, I'm stained. Literally stained.
At least it's not watermelon. That stank from the yeah. Oh my God. And then someone goes, I'm allergic to watermelon, and we're like, sorry. We smashed a watermelon last year.
We did have
the last thing that, well, not the last thing, but one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys, and this can apply to anybody who would like to answer as well. Obviously, it's a feminist piece of theatre, and especially with everything going on, you know, especially in our industry at the moment. Like, how do you feel about performing this now? You know, especially the whole ending section as women, as you know, and Scott, you know, this must have felt important to you to want to do right now as well. I just wonder if you had any comments about that. Like, how did it feel, like, getting to, like, do something so powerful?
Felt really, like, I mean, I found it emotional at times, like, especially, like, once we'd finished that whole section, especially going from Samson and Delilah, which is so, like, almost contained and quite, like, heavy, and then going into, like, the haka, which was so, like, explosive and stuff. Like, because we made those two parts separate, and like the haka was made first, and then we found that, so like it wasn't like, didn't like come naturally in that order. So for me, like the first time we put those together, and the first time like it worked, and we had like all the harmonies and this choral speaking, like, and it all came together, like I was like, oh, like it made me feel so like powerful and so confident in like myself as like a woman, which is like so exciting to be able to, like, if we experience that, like to be able to like give that to someone else.
It really, like the ensemble really like came through for the sisterhood, I think, in that a lot of like feminism is so important when women support other women. And like when we did the joy dance, because we're not all dancers, and I know that I felt really self-conscious doing that because I just not really what I do, but we all had so much fun with it and like laughing together and being like, it just feels great to like just float around and like chuck your arms about, and it was so nice to just like empower each other and be like, we've got this and we're gonna like smash it. Felt
And
amazing.
I think one of the big things about the characters in this play, because one of the things about sort of anti-feminist plays is that they say we've got female characters, they never speak to each other, they don't have a personality, etc., etc. And so I really like the relationships that the women have with each other. And there's so many different ones. Like, you know, we had to think about our inner world. And, you know, who were you mad at over breakfast this morning? Who do you have a secret crush on? You know, whatever. There's just so many little moments where you meet eyes with people, like in the joy dance where we cross each other and you meet eyes just for a second, and it's just like pure joy and like unconditional love for each other. And I think that's so important to show in a feminist piece of theatre, because it shows like, you know, we can be strong on our own and we can love each other and we don't have to be against each other, and it can be like a proper sisterhood.
Which did, this is just a question that I just thought of, if I'd have been someone who was male filming, and, you know, Sam is someone, I guess, the camera's genderless, but did it impact at all what if it had been, you know, had it been Paul or Scott who was filming it? Do you reckon the storytelling would have felt different had it not been a woman that you were doing all of this to, I guess?
I think the camera removes the feeling of gender. If it was just through a male gaze as a man just watching, I think it'd feel a lot different. But because I think I did feel the sense that obviously you were behind the camera and that made it feel a bit different, but the camera sort of takes that element away, if that makes sense.
I also think, like, if it had been, like, say, Scott, like, working on this piece with you, and, like, the fact that, like, you gave us the space to, like, find that, like, female voice and create that female voice, like, you were so much a part of finding that and that, like, giving that space for that I feel like it maybe wouldn't have had, like, as much of an effect as if it had been, like, I don't know, like a stranger that we'd never met before, like that would probably be a bit different. But because, like, especially all of us who'd been in the room together for, like, all of those, like, 15 months, like, we had, like, it was such a collaborative, like, piece, and, like, finding that space, and, like, we're, like, I'm personally, like, so grateful that you, like, gave such, like, weight and, like, space for all of that.
It was quite scary because, like, I'm a feminist, but it's not my lived experience, so it's not right for me to come in and mansplain and say, okay, here's what we're going to do about feminism today, guys. But I think the play is as much about, a lot of it is inspired by a feminist writer called Audre Lorde, who argues that joy is kind of a revolutionary act that is about people coming together, and because it's a lasting thing as opposed to pleasure, which is like, now I need another one, now I need another one, now I need another one, that it takes power away from people who want to have power over you if you have lots of joy, because you have it within yourself. I don't need that from you, I don't need that from you. And I thought that was what I wanted to explore, like how I wanted to learn about feminism in 2021. Not in the way that it would be comfortable for me to think about feminism in 2021 as a man trying to direct a group of female performers. But I also think this play is about allyship as well, and that lots of these characters who are oppressing women are not particularly intending to. They're part of a structure that they find themselves in, and they just forget what the boundaries should have been, I suppose. And that's one of the reasons why I really love the Diggs and Celeste scene at the end, when they're looking up at the attic, because I think that's the first time that it occurs to one of these characters who's been part of this kind of oppressive structure. First time it occurs to them to go, oh, we don't have to do this. Like, perhaps that isn't the right thing to do. And I think, so I guess, like, my journey through the feminism of this piece is about allyship, because I won't ever experience the oppression that comes from being a woman. So my personal way into this is about being an ally, I suppose.
Thank you, Scott.
No, thank you. I mean, I've learned a lot through this. It's quite scary for a man to deal with this, and you all said to me, we'd like to do something to do with feminism, and like, it would have been the wrong answer, wouldn't it have been to say, well, no, I'm a man. We don't touch those things. We do men's stories.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
One of the things that we also discussed, and we discussed it about when we come back to the gallery at the very end, about like having everyone's sort of faces in this gallery, like even males. We discussed the idea of like it, because it's called sisterhood, it just being the females. But I mean, you said it quite often that the idea of feminism can't exist without males. So like we did discuss the idea of allyship a lot, and especially in terms of like Diggs, and having Diggs sort of join the women at the end of like the play. So I think going back to the whole like camera being like gendered, or if had like the camera black person being a male, I think it would have. Don't think it would have made a difference as long as the idea of allyship and the idea sort of like still stood.
Yeah.
Well, did I ask you guys your favourite bits in the show? No, sorry.
It's really hard. Like, I think it's got to be the vignettes. It was like vignettes was just such a huge part of like developing who we were within this like little world and stuff. And yeah, I'm really gonna miss like balloons being exploded in my face. So that, yeah, that was amazing.
Grace?
I really like the end because I think like we all go on like our separate little journeys, and the fact that we all come together at the end and like the women's monologue where we all speak together, it's like we found like one voice, and like even though we're all on separate journeys and we all like want different things, and like after the cult's finished, like we can go our separate ways and what have you, like that is like one moment in like the whole play where we are like so together and we're so like driven to like prove that we don't need to we don't need men to find joy, like we can find joy just us. And I think that's definitely my favourite part.
Don't know. Maybe I think Samson and Delilah. Like, don't know. Just get a bit of a chill, don't you? Like even like us doing it, sometimes I'm like, oh, it's just kind of nice.
Luthea?
As hard and as many cries and anxiety they gave me, the vignettes, because it was like a little gift from the four of us to like create. He gave us like, okay, you have 1 minute to do whatever you want, and we can. I think it represents this course. In just that little snip, we can direct and write the scene and choreograph and put music and stuff like that. And I think it's just a unique moment when we showcase ourselves. And it's, might sound selfish, but it's my little moment, my little story with my dog, and this the little eyes pop in. And
it was also this for me, like that was also the scariest moment. Like, see, when I read the script and you were like, "Yeah, you're gonna make this thing," I was like,
because with the play they had so much. The play they had so much time to create, but with the vignettes we were like, "Okay, in, next week you can start rehearse the play with the vignettes." We're like, "What's a vignette?"
Yeah, I think I'm the last person to go, so I'm going to be cheesy.
Sorry.
But yeah, so honestly my favourite part of this was just being able to work with a group of ridiculously talented and intelligent and lovely people. Many
but
of
they're
whom
off
are
sick
my
today,
actual
so...
friends. But yeah, being able to work with like-minded people who I really do care about, especially after a pandemic that sort of tore us apart very suddenly after a showcase and being like, leave the country, or leave London. It was just so nice to be back in the room again. Like before Christmas, I just remember being so happy constantly. I was exhausted and in pain all the time, but I was so happy because we're like, I call it doing the thing. We're doing it, like we're acting, we're creating, and being able to do that for the past 15 months has just been so fun and rewarding, and it's just made me so happy.
Yeah. And exactly, you know, like take it from, you know, any graduate, any year group that has ever been before. You guys will always have this special bond relationship between each other, you know. And through what Scott said, spread love and spread joy always, you know. Yeah.
Sorry, if I can say, like, since the first lockdown, like, I haven't, you know, gone home, like, I haven't seen my family, like, face to face, and it's been really challenging, you know, like, because of my grandmother and everything. But these guys, like, really, like, they've been always there, like, Zoom calls, like, you know, that now is the thing, and, you know, like, really, I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it without these guys, and I'm really sad that Free is it's gonna go so fast, you know, like, and it's like this. We are the best.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't do a little weep in that wing over there while I was changing.
Is that a little
What are we talking about?
That was the spell.
Stop weeing on the stage.
Weep. Okay.
A little cry. There you go. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna miss the bullying.
No, just thank you. It's been a real pleasure. It's been very difficult and really challenging for me. I've learned a lot from it. But thank you, and I hope that you know, you've done it now. Like this is the thing you came to train to do. You've done it. You can do it. So go out and do it. We want you to leave your socialised selves and the things that care about what you look like or what you're doing outside the room, and in here, like, you can get as dirty and as ugly and as beautiful and as loud and hideous or whatever as is required or as you feel you need to, and that will always be welcomed with open arms.
Thank you all for watching at home. Thank you for watching. If this is on YouTube, my YouTube channel.
Subscribe, press the like button below.
There we go.
I'm
just trying to sign up, Maria. So thank you so much for watching, documenting Dorian and being on this massive journey. I only joined in October, but you guys have been on this way, way longer. So thank you so much for joining us and watching that. And if you haven't seen the production already, watch it ASAP.
Or watch it again.
Watch it again.
Yeah. And again.
Watch it again.
Send it to Gran.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Thank you.
My name's Grace Tyrrell, and this was
Documenting Dorian!
Father Dorian, do you hear me? Yes, he hears me. I feel the portrait. Father Dorian, he loves me. Yes, he does love me, Dorian. Dorian. Yes, I love him lots. And we worship him. Yes, we worship him. Oh. Dorian.